Hey guys, appreciate you watching the video this evening. What I've got is an Alien Gear Cloak Tuck 3.0 holster. This one is for my Springfield XDS 4.0 4-inch barrel. It's 45 ACP. Just so that it's not loaded. I ain't got no magazine in it. I was going to order the Alien Gear Shapeshifter kit, but guess what? They have them available for the 3.3 inch barrel, but not for the 4-inch barrel. Come on, Alien Gear, get me one for the 4-inch barrel. Anyway, I've got about 2 others of these. One was for a Taurus PT-111 G2 Millennium. Is a 9mm, pretty compact little firearm. That I like pretty well. It shoots okay for a 9mm. The other one is for a little Ruger that I have, and I like it pretty good too. Now, the reason why I was interested in the Shapeshifter, a lot of people are familiar with that, have seen these videos, how these work. They have 4 screws that holds these, the actual holster part, the Kydex part in place. So you can order the shells for whatever gun that's available that they have them for. So I could have 2 other shells, but in order to utilize that, what I'd have to do is take these 4 screws out, put on the new, this shell off, put on the new shell and put the 4 screws back in. While that doesn't sound too tasking, and it isn't if you only did that every once in a while, but I might carry the my Springfield today, which I did. I might carry my Taurus tomorrow and the Ruger the next day. Who knows? You know, it's a plethora of an idea which one I might carry at one time. So the Shapeshifter struck me as something that might work for me because it only has 1 point of attachment, so it'd be easy to pop that off, have another assembly that I can just pop on, click, ready to go. But they don't have it available for that particular firearm yet. Anyways, this is a Cloak Tuck 3.0. I like these pretty good. The only downside that I have to these from the ones that I've owned previously is that from the factory, they don't put any Loctite on these screws, okay? So, and they come with an accessory kit. You get some extra hardware, some extra washers, screws, and an Allen wrench to work on the thing with, which is pretty cool because I think they know that these screws will back out and fall out, so you need some extra stuff. That's pretty cool. I had mentioned Loctite to them once before in a chat session, and the guy said, well, that's a pretty good idea. And it worked well for me on my other 2 holsters. Just to take all the screws out, put some blue Loctite on them, and put them back the way I had them, the way I like them. And I never had a problem with it after that. You know, and I saved Alien Gear from having to send me another accessory kit to replace the screws by doing that, and it only cost a couple of bucks. So I think it's a good idea. It may not be, but it's worked for me. Anyway, these are pretty adjustable. And by that I mean you can adjust the ride height up and down by taking these 2 screws out and moving your clips up or down. If you want a higher ride height, then you just move the clips to the holes below. And this is the same way that you want to adjust your cant. If you want a cant going this way, then you take this clip and put it down, this one down, I'm sorry, would raise this side and therefore shift the cant this direction. The same way as if you want this side up, then you move this one up and this one down, and that would change the cant to the other direction. So the cant is adjustable, and so is the ride height. So that's pretty good. I like that. And it's made out of on the back is a neoprene material, which I absolutely love that because I've owned leather holsters. Leather holsters against my skin just make me sweat. You know, I'm sorry. And this material does not do that. It's soft. Doesn't bind up. It doesn't make me sweat. So I like that pretty good. And the material on the front is something they call alien skin. It's a rubbery like material. And from my other two firearms, it's never made any wear marks on the barrels of or muzzles of my other two pistols. And you can adjust the retention by either tightening or loosening these 4 screws. And that's where having that Loctite comes in, because if you like a really loose retention, then you know, you want to loosen these up to where you can slide it out pretty easy. And this one I've got to where I can pull it out with 2 fingers if I had to. But it takes a little force. So really I need to grasp it with, like I'm meant to do, and pull it out like so. And if I really wanted a tough pull or a harder pull, then I would tighten these on down further to increase the pressure on that, so it would be harder to pull out. So that's a pretty good system compared to some of the other ones that I've had before. Now these, they do conceal pretty good. I always wear my shirt untucked, so I never have a problem with it printing my shirts. I'm a big guy, so yeah, I pick up a little weight in the wintertime. So some of my shirts are larger than others. So on the smaller ones, I might have a little bit of a problem with them printing if I'm not careful on where I place it. But if you're conscious of that and you place your firearm right in the 430 position, that's my favorite position. You can use other positions for this, but I like the 430 position. It seems to fit well. It's comfortable, especially when I'm driving my vehicle. So, as far as a holster, I would recommend using a Cloak Tuck 3.0. Now, the other item that I have is the mag carrier. This is the first mag carrier that I've had. I've seen them before, and I've often thought about ordering one, but I never did until this time around. And it's a pretty nifty apparatus. You get a neoprene battery if you want to inside the waist carry. It's got the same alien skin on the front and the neoprene on the back, so it should be just as comfortable as the holster. It has 2 clips here and here for attaching your mag carrier, just like that. So we're going to take this off for just a moment so we can show this off. There's 3 screws for adjusting the retention on these. There's 2 up here at the top on each corner, and there's 1 down here in the center on the bottom. And that's for adjusting your retention. Now, the way you do that is if you look on the side here, there is a little twisty knob. It's basically a lock to keep you from pushing the slide. So if you unlock that, there's a slide that all you gotta do is push in like so, and then you get to a point where that just pulls out. And if you look, there's a round wheel that's got gears on it, and on the inside here is also another hole that has the same gears that allows this to slide in any position that you desire for your cant. Like if you wanted a 45 degree if you carried on this side. If you wanted a 45-degree cant and angled forward, you could do that. If you wanted to, even if you wanted to hang the thing upside down, you could do that. You could adjust the retention on your mag well and it wouldn't fall out. And you could carry it upside down if you wanted. I truly like that. All right, but now if you slide this all the way back, you will notice I've taken the Allen wrench out. There's a place, and I'll go ahead and put it back in here real quick, for an Allen wrench to fit right there. Now, that's pretty neat that you got a place to put your tool for adjusting. Pop this back out. And those are just Allen screws. So I've not checked this, so let's see how well the retention is on that. It seems to be a little tight, for me anyways. So I'm going to leave the magazine in the holder, and I'm going to loosen these screws just a smidgen. And see how well that does. Oh, yeah. I like the way that feels, and will not come out even upside down, as you can see it. If you shake it enough, it does have some give to it. So yeah, if you wanted to carry that upside down, you'd have to put a little more retention on it, because it is backing out if I shook it. But I like that pretty well. Now, what I'm not convinced of is this thing is, as you can see, it's kind of bulky if you're going to carry it inside the waistband. Now, it does come with another clip. This is a wide belt clip compared to a narrow belt clip. And the instructions online says that if you want to outside carry, they recommend using the wide belt clip because it gives more stability. It's a little bit wider and theoretically would give you more stability when pulling the magazine from the mag carrier while wearing it. It does seem to do just that. Now, the reason why I mentioned how bulky it is, if I'm going inside the waist carry, they recommend using the narrow clip on the neoprene backer. And there's a couple of notches on each side of the mag carrier that these clips just snap into to hold it. And it seems to retain it pretty good. Now that, to me, looks a little bulky. So if I'm going to carry my firearm and this is already adding some bulk inside my pants. Well, this is adding even more bulk inside my pants. I'm thinking I'm going to have to increase my pant size or get some stretchy pants. Maybe, I don't know. It might work just fine with what I'm wearing now. That's something I'm going to have to tinker with and see how that works out. But I'm already familiar with the holsters, and those are very nice. Again, I still want to try out a shapeshifter if they ever get them available for the Springfields, the 4-inch barrel. Now, one thing I do want to mention about this, once you get everything adjusted to your likings, you'll want to put your Allen wrench back in its holder spot. Just like so. And that clips right back forward. And it won't fall out. And I don't want mine quite as high, so I'm going to use the top hole. Once you get everything adjusted, you want to turn this back to the lock position. That way this won't won't slide unless you have this open. Then it'll slide. So there would be the possibility that it could slide and come loose. No, you wouldn't want that. So make sure that when you get everything adjusted the way you want it, and you try it on and make sure everything's comfortable, you put that lock in position so it won't accidentally pop open on you. And one thing I will say about these holsters is that another reason why I love these is this. A lot of my friends, when they get in the car, they'll take their pistol out and they'll put it in center console, or they'll have another holster underneath it. They'll put the gun in while they're driving. And I practice this way. I can get to my firearm while I'm driving. If you practice something enough, it becomes second nature. And this holster is very comfortable to the point I don't even know it's there when I'm driving. And that's kind of what we want when we carry conceal, is we don't want to know it's there unless we have to have it. And that's the whole point. All right, so I think it's an awesome product. I think both these are pretty good. I'll let you know later down the road whether I think this is an awesome product, and I do believe it's going to be. I just have to figure out about the bulkiness that I'm afraid of here at this point. But if it turns out to be too bulky to wear inside the waistband, then I'll wear it outside the waistband. That shouldn't be too much of a trouble to do. All right, guys, appreciate you watching. Again, if Alien Gear's watching, get on that shapeshifter for the Springfield XDS 4-inch barrel.